the 3 points here in Wolfsburg.
Of course, Wolfsburg by contracts are in the trouble. Only 19 points on the board, Michael. Their weakest haul after 20 matches in the club's history, I should say, and just 1 point above relegation playoffs place. Of course, Daniel Boyer's side have gone 3 games without a win, taking only one of the last 9 points against their rivals, that is Heidenheim, Mainz, and Cologne.
So, George, the team sheets are in. So let's look at who will be playing for the two teams. We're going to start with the home side. And the Wolfsburg side looks like they've got Camille Grabara in the goalpost, their number 1 shot stopper. And they're playing with a 4-man defense. That includes Januel Bolisien on the left-hand side, Konstantinos Koulirakis in the middle of the defense, Dennis Vavro pairing up with Koulirakis, and then we've got Kylian Fischer on the right. In the holding midfield position, we've got the captain of the side, Maximilian Arnold, on the left, and Christian Eriksen on the right. And playing on the wings, we've got Kevin Paredes on the left-hand side, Adam Dickham on the right, and then Kento Shogai in the middle. And striking for Wolfsburg is Mohamed Amoura.
Of course, the visiting side, Borussia Dortmund, are starting off with Gregor Kobel, who is on the goal post. Niklas Sule, Anton Waldemann, Nico Scholterberg are in the defense line. Daniel Shevson, Felix Namancha, Job Bellingham, Julian Reisen, Julian Brandt, Maximilian Baer, and Garassi finishing up in the attacking side.
Super. And it's also very good, George, that we've got Seo Girassi joining the side after a long spell away. And already he's beginning to bang in the goals. And so Dortmund will be relying on Seo Girassi's form to be able to come away with the points so far this afternoon.
Of course, he's much needed in this particular outplay. And we are saying, of course, they have to try and close the gap. You said it's 6 points adrift, and everybody is hoping that it can be cut down to maybe 3 points to make it a realistic chase to the title.
But if you look at the two strikers, we've got Seo Girassi in our shot at the moment. And a few seconds ago, we're looking at Mohamed Amoura, who has scored 7 goals for his side, Wolfsburg. When you look at the stature of these two strikers, it looks like it's a bit unbalanced. Seo Girassi clearly the more efficient striker compared to Amoura.
But let's see who will blink first, Michael.
Kickoff now. The Dortmund side well in their away colors, grey and what looks to be like neon green pants, on playing from right to left. And then we've got Wolfsburg in their traditional home kit that is all green, and they're playing from left to right. We have at the moment a throw in which is going to be affected by Nico Schlotterbeck. He throws in a long one, trying to find Seo Girassi. Seo Girassi is tackled, and the ball is lost to Wolfsburg. But we've got Joe Bellingham having the ball once more, and Dortmund stringing the passes together. They play it all the way to the back and decide to build from behind. Joe Bellingham finds on that right-hand side Julian Reisen. Reisen finds Gregor Kobel all the way in the goal post.
The match looking relaxed so far, Michael, as I can see, and it's a build-up. Every side trying to test the strength of the other one, at least pulling strings. We just want to see who will blink first. But of course, this is a very important game for both sides. As we've said, the Borussia Dortmund aiming at cutting the points against the league leaders, Bayern Munich, who are ahead of them by 6 points. And Wolfsburg on the other side trying to maintain their winning streak. Remember, they don't sit in a very comfortable position in the league currently. And it will be upon their coach, or rather among the fans also, who really want them to at least evade that relegation zone, because they are 14th in the league and anything can happen and they slip going to the bottom, Michael.
And when you look at their away form, Wolfsburg hasn't been very good away, and so they will really be counting on their home form to be able to clutch some points here this afternoon. And so they will be putting everything on the line, because as you hinted, they're currently sitting only slightly above the relegation playoffs, and so they will be hoping to improve their standing on the table as we see right now in our shot, we've got Daniel Svensson, who seems to have been taking a knock and is limping on the field. He was tackled by Kevin Paredes, and that seemed to have been a very, very heavy knock. And so a foul has been awarded to Borussia Dortmund, quickly taken by Nico Schlotterbeck, who dribbles 1-2 and passes back to the goalkeeper Gregor Kobel. Kobel finds Waldemar Anton, and Dortmund is building from behind. Anton finds Nicolas Zule. Zule back to Julian Brandt, and the ball is lost. Wolfsburg strike going forward. They are going forward on the left-hand side, and they try to find a long one, and it's a long shot, but it is all way over the goalpost. It was the first attempt by Mohamed Amoura, but that attempt left so much to be desired.
Of course, leaving so much to be desired, Michael, but he has an attempt on goal. We can't take that away from him. And I believe that is what the fans are yearning for currently. So, and as if earlier on pointed out, it is a battle between Amoura and Garassi, who is going to put their side in the front sheet.
We've got a long surging pass from Nicolas Zule, and he was looking for Maximilian Bayer. He finds Bayer, but Wolfsburg takes that ball out of touch, and the throw-in is going to be quickly effected by Julian Rice, and he's searching for the Dortmund players. Felix Mecha is in the 18-yard box, quickly thrown, and the ball is lobbed into the 18-yard box. But this was a really good performance, a really good attempt, but Wolfsburg clearing the ball and clearing it out of danger. But Dortmund still in possession of the ball as Wolfsburg finally tries to take a long one out. But Svensson finally finding the ball. He is tackled and shoved off the ball, and another foul is awarded against Shogai, the Wolfsburg player.
Yeah, and Michael, as I'm looking at it currently, Wolfsburg are putting up a very spirited defense, and then this formation seems to be working so well. That is the 4-2-3-1, and they're not letting anything to chance.
Although it must also be said that Dortmund have had the bulk of the possession so far in the opening minutes of this game. They seem to be dictating the pace of this game as they surge forward. Svensson on the left-hand side, he checks and he turns. He finds Mecha. Mecha legs in a long one, searching for Girassi, but that goes out of touch. It was a good attempt, but it was a little overworked and couldn't find the head of Seu Girassi. As we wait for proceedings to resume here, Wolfsburg deciding on how they are going to effect the kick from behind, and they finally do that. But that was a very terrible kick by Grabara, and the ball finally goes out of touch for a Dortmund throw. Throw in quickly effected. Nicolas Zule at the back, holding on to the ball, and he sends a long one to the left-hand side, and he finds Nico Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck finds Svensson. Svensson tries to dribble 1-2, and he's got 3 green shirts on him, but he manages to wiggle his way out of that situation and finds Waldemar Anton. Anton lets in a very long one in search of Maximilian Bayer, but that was a bit overworked, and the ball goes out of touch.
Of course, it goes out of touch, Michael, and here we're seeing Dortmund pretty much comfortable involving the involvement between Brandt and Bellingham. It's seemingly suffocating the defense line of Wolfsburg. Let's see, will it materialize into goals? Because that is what the fans are up for today. They want goals. Sometimes fans can be very impatient.
Surging forward again, we see Dortmund going forward. Dortmund, and it's Seu Girassi in the 18-yard box. Let's fly, but that is kicked out of touch for a goal corner. A corner. That was a really, really good effort. The telepathy between Maximilian Bayer and Seu Girassi, that was really, really good. And Maximilian Bayer doing all of the heavy work. Seu Girassi was in the 18-yard box, but the Wolfsburg defense doing their job and making sure that that situation was brought under control. Dortmund have the corner here, and it's Svensson who is behind the ball and is going to effect the corner kick in the 18-yard box. We've got all of the tall people, Seu Girassi. We've also got Nico Schlotterbeck, All of them in the 18-yard box. Let's see what Dortmund makes out of this. He takes the corner kick and he comes in, but it is headed out of harm's way. But the ball lands again in the arms of Dortmund. Dortmund still in possession of the ball as they...
I smell a goal here, Michael.
Certainly, Dortmund piling on the pressure onto Wolfsburg. And they seem to be the ones who are dictating the pace here in this game. They are calling all of the shots, stringing all of the passes together. Nico Schlotterberg at the moment in possession of the ball. And he checks 1-2. But Amoura not allowing him any breathing space at all. And the ball goes out of touch for a throw-in for Dortmund.
Mohamed Amoura. Really good playing there.
So we are back in proceedings. We've also got, again, Dortmund in possession of the ball. It's Ryerson who runs on the left-hand side and finds Nico Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg lets in a long one onto the left-hand side, and he finds Svensson, but that control let him down, and the ball is out of touch for a goal kick in favor of Wolfsburg.
And just to our listeners at UBC in Uganda, very warm welcome if you're following this particular commentary. Remember, our focus is Wolfsburg versus Dortmund, but we're also following other Bundesliga matches. Heidenheim, Hamburg still at 0-0, having played the 9 minutes so far. St. Pauli, Stuttgart 0-0 as well. But there is a goal in Mainz, Michael. Mainz has already scored a goal against Wolfsburg. That is 1-0. And then the other game that is currently ongoing is Freiburg versus Werder Bremen.
And also to remind our listeners, George, that during the halftime, we'll be taking them to Acra because Dortmund is establishing an academy in Acra, and we've got our people on the ground to bring us the latest regarding what is happening with Dortmund's academy in Accra, Ghana. So stick and stay as the game proceeds here at the Volkswagen Arena here in Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg tried to build from behind, but they've lost possession. The ball is back with Dortmund. We've got Julian Brandt, and he finds on the right-hand side. He finds on that side Julian Ryerson. Ryerson back to Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg finds Wildemar Anton. Anton again to Schlotterberg, and long one in search of Ryerson. Ryerson's control let him down, and the ball is out of touch once more for a goal kick. They've been trying to work that right-hand side, Dortmund, but so far it hasn't worked out very well. It's either overshot or the control of the players on that right-hand side let them down. But if they're able to get that one right, it could be dangerous for Wolfsburg.
Of course, it will be very dangerous for them. And Michael, do you see Christian Eriksen being in his form that he has been known for?
Unfortunately, in this game, he hasn't had a touch to the ball so far since we started. He has been lost, and I should also say that Wolfsburg has lost completely the midfield. Dortmund is marauding in the midfield, controlling all of that. Again, we see them trying to go forward, but the ball goes out of touch for a throw-in for Wolfsburg. As Wolfsburg has a spell of possession here, they are trying to build from behind. Kevin Fischer finds Christian Eriksen. Eriksen to duck him, and back to Eriksen. And now we've got Arnold. Arnold back to Vavro. Shogai, and a long one to Paredes. And it lets one fly, but it's stopped by Nico Schlotterberg. Oh, that's Niklas Zule, I should say. Niklas Zule, and that's gone out of touch for Wolfsburg's first corner kick of this game. Let's see what Wolfsburg has been training when it comes to set pieces. They have the chance to put that into effect now as they try to arrange in the 18-yard box. It is Eriksen who is behind the ball to take the corner kick. He raises both arms to signal to his colleagues in the 18-yard box that the corner kick is about to come in. Let's see what they make out of this.
Eriksen, the Danish player wearing the jersey number 24, of course, brought in as one of the veteran players, Michael, to perhaps help Wolfsburg.
And unfortunately, Alex, George,
yeah.
Wolfsburg doesn't make anything out of this corner kick. It was taken short by Eriksson. The idea was to pass onto the edge of the 18-yard box and probably strike it, but
seems like he had different ideas.
There was miscommunication between the head and the legs, I should put it that way. We've got a foul here in favor of Seou Girassi. He was trying to turn away from the Wolfsburg defender, but he was brought down, and the referee didn't whistle, and he was appealing for the foul to be whistled, and now that's been done. Dortmund in possession of the ball again, and they're going forward. It's Nico Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg finds Reisen on the right-hand side. Reisen finds Niklas Zule. Zule back to Schlotterberg on the left-hand side, and back to Anton. Anton in the middle finds Niklas Zule. Zule lets a long one in. It's a good attempt, but it's a feeble attempt. Feeble attempt, but the first of, I hope, many to come. Niklas Zule sent in a long and low one, but the goalkeeper Grabara was in the right place, and he took that very, very easily.
Of course, Michael, Niklas Zule's physical presence has been pivotal in this particular team, and in such surprises he can pull. In such moments, he can pull some surprises, and that should have been in as well.
We've got Svensson on the edge of the 18-yard box. He finds Nico Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg lets a long one in. He finds Reisen. Reisen is on that right-hand side, close to the corner flag, trying to make something out of that. The ball comes back to Valdemar Anton. Anton dribbles one, finds Niklas Zule. Zule searching, finds Reisen one more time on that right-hand side. A short one to Julian Brandt, back to Reisen. Dortmund doing a lot of work on that right-hand side. And now it goes to Job Bellingham. Bellingham finds Anton once more. And it's back to Schlotterberg, who dribbles one. He lets one in, and it's Job Bellingham. Unfortunately, this ball was blocked, and there's a counter-attack. It is Amoura who is on a rampage right now in the Dortmund half, but Nico Schlotterberg ran quickly and stopped what could have been a very dangerous situation. So this is something that they need to watch. When they go forward, they need to really ensure that they are covering their backs, Dortmund, so that counter-attacks like this do not happen.
Definitely, they must be very careful with that. And I'm seeing maybe Wolfsburg looking at, taking advantage of this. And as you've pointed out, Michael, Mohamed Amoura could pull a surprise today. With the pace, if Nico Schlotterberg was not around, then this would have been an easy goal. It was a very wonderful pass from Kento Shigai, which was just unlucky that he didn't really get into the ideas that Amoura had. And we see a player down currently.
We've got a Wolfsburg player being treated on the pitch. I'm not sure what happened. Did you see what happened, George?
I'm not pretty sure what happened. That must be an hamstring. He was obviously not in action.
So we've got a pause here in the Volkswagen Arena while the player, I'm not sure which player is on the ground at the moment, but he is getting treated on the pitch, and the referee is standing over him as Eriksson receives instructions from the coach. As you said, George, it didn't seem like he was in action, so he may have pulled a hamstring or a muscle. So this was not a foul situation, but we see the player limping off the pitch. He's got ice and bandage. Unfortunately, he cannot continue. Very, very unfortunate, but unfortunately, Killian Fischer is unable to continue. It seems like he has pulled a muscle or a hamstring, and so he's been substituted. And on comes Jan Berger. Jan Berger, wearing the number 41 jersey, comes on for Killian Fischer.
That's a very early substitution, and I believe it was not according to plan, Michael. Could that destabilize their team and their tempo?
It certainly is not ideal when the coach comes in with a plan and the player suffers an early injury. Definitely, it throws a wrench into the works of the coach. But that's why the substitution bench is there. He should be able to bring on somebody who's able to fill in the role that Kylian Fischer was playing. And we're back in action now. It's again once more Dortmund that is going forward. A long searching pass by Niklas Zule, and it is stopped by Wolfsburg. And we've got a foul situation here. Svensson tried to go in for the ball, and in the process, he fouled Dachem. And the referee has whistled for a free kick for Wolfsburg. A long searching pass to the left-hand side of the pitch. And it's a long one, but nobody there to connect with it. And the ball comes back to Adam Wagner on the right-hand side. He dribbles one to less one in, but the Dortmund defense is on duty and they are let, and they stop the danger from being worse. Gregor Kobel finally collects the ball coolly, and he throws it on the floor for Waldemar Anton. Dortmund try to build from behind. They can breathe now as they build from behind once more. And it is Joe Bellingham. He finds Svensson on the right-hand side, but that ball is stopped, and it goes back, but Wolfsburg lose the ball once again, and it's a throw for Dortmund.
Michael, Dortmund must be very careful at this particular moment. I'm looking at what Wolfsburg is trying to pull. They may surprise Dortmund if they're not very careful. Seems to be building up a very spirited attacking, leaving their behind, their back line exposed. And that can prove to be very dangerous.
Again, Dortmund trying to work through the right-hand side, and it's constantly failing. Julian Reising not able to connect. And because of that, he's not giving service to Seu Girassi. As Wolfsburg deals with the ball from behind once more. They go forward very, very quickly again. And it's Amoura. He's got a lot of speed, and he deals with that ball. He sends in a right curl from the left-hand side, and he was searching for Adam Dachem. It was only the fact that Nico Schlotterberg was right there, and that's why Dortmund is managed to escape this. Joe Bellingham, we're looking at Joe Bellingham as we watch a replay. But once again, going to what you said earlier, George.
Yes.
Dortmund really need to check this counter-attack, because Wolfsburg is very, very fast on the counter-attack. Amoura is very, very fast, and when it comes up against the Dortmund defense, it can be very, very dangerous.
Eriksson with the corner there. And that was almost, Michael.
It was almost a goal. Almost a goal for Wolfsburg. Long searching pass from Grabara, but that was overcooked in search of Eriksson, and it goes out of touch for a throw-in for Dortmund. But that was a very, very dangerous corner kick. It almost went into the goal. If Gregor Kobel wasn't alert, it would have been a goal for Wolfsburg.
It would have been definitely a goal there.
Dortmund back in action. It's Svensson who's got a ball. He finds Joe Bellingham. Bellingham dribbles one, finds Mecha. Mecha is going on to the left-hand side. And then he sends a long one in search of Seu Girassi. Girassi finds the ball, finds Joe Bellingham once more. Joe Bellingham to Nicolas Zule. Zule finds Julian Brandt. Brandt to Reising. And once again, Reising starts letting him down once again. And they go all the way to the back to Gregor Kobel. Kobel handles the ball, finds Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg in search. He sends a long one in again to the right-hand side to Reising. This time, Reising's touch does not fail him. He handles the ball quickly and in search of nobody. And Wolfsburg finds the ball, but it is back to Nicolas Mecha.
That's a very good build-up.
Bayer.
Oh!
And it's blocked by Wolfsburg. And it's left one fly by Joe Bellingham, and that goes out of touch. I'm not sure if it is a corner kick by Felix Nmecha. It was a really feeble kick, but dangerous for Wolfsburg, letting Maximilian Bayer handle the ball in the 18-yard box like that without any challenge. That was very, very dangerous.
Very dangerous indeed, and we're seeing Dortmund really doing very well in the attacking front, Michael, compared to Wolfsburg, who are currently depending on any chance to counter-attack. This should be very good pressing. Svensson, back to Nico Schlotterberg, looking relaxed. It's pretty much a very good build-up, Michael.
Dortmund is trying to pull in the Wolfsburg players to open up the midfield.
That's a very wonderful pass to Gerassi, Michael, and here could be an opportunity for the Dortmund side, but it is cleared away. Let's see, Amoura with the ball. Making an easy run. He went for it alone, but that was a feeble one as well.
Yeah, it was a really, really terrible pass, attempt at goal, but he was out of options. On the right-hand side, there was Shogai, but he was effectively blocked by Nico Schlotterberg. So the only option for Amoura was to go for the goal. And unfortunately, that was a very bad attempt. But we see consistently that Amoura has got a lot of space and pace on that left-hand side. And so whenever he goes forward, it is very, very dangerous. Coincidentally,
yeah,
it's that same side that we've got Niklas Zule on.
Zule, yeah, with Niklas Zule's physical
Zule
presence.
has not got the best of speed.
Yeah.
And so Dortmund really, really need to support Zule when it comes to taking on Amoura.
Definitely Amoura, the Algerian striker. He pretty much impressed me during the African Cup of Nations, Michael. Having, thrived with his team, of course, they didn't go so far, but it was really a good performance and good outing for him. And there he goes, Amoura. Should this be a goal for him? And it is! Oh!
What a miss!
What a miss!
What a miss! It was a mistake by Nico Schlotterberg, who failed to clear the ball effectively, and the ball was gifted to Amoura, and was basically Amoura versus Gregor Kobel. He tried to go for the corner, then the 90-degree. Unfortunately, he overkicked it, and it goes out of touch. But very, very good chance for Wolfsburg. This should have been their first goal, and I hope they don't come back to regret missing this opportunity.
They will regret, of course, Michael. In case Dortmund comes out of Wolfsburg with a goal or 3 points, then they will regret that particular chance. Normally in football, they say any half chance must be converted and all the full chances must be counted as a goal. And at this particular point, I'm sure Amoura should have done something different, but of course it is football. We are not the ones playing. And in this case, he gave his best, Michael. He may argue that way. But let's see, will he get another chance like that?
So they are building from behind again. Dortmund in possession of the ball. The back three handling the ball, stringing the passes together. Finally finding on that left-hand side, Daniel Svensson. Gerassi has dropped back and he's around the center circle. He finds Felix Nmecha. Nmecha finds Julian Brandt. Brandt goes to Niklas Zule. Zule to Ryerson on that right-hand side. Ryerson has got a ball. He lets one in now, but it is headed by Wolfsburg. The ball falls again to Felix Nmecha. What will he do with that? He tries to go for a strike, and it's blocked by Wolfsburg. Ball back in possession of Niklas Zule, as we see here Maximilian Bayer rolling in pain on the field in the 18-yard box. I'm not sure what happened to him, but it seems like one of the players may have stepped on his foot. Okay, yeah. He got his foot stepped on by Killian Fisher. He's limping on the field, but so far he seems to be able to continue the game.
Michael, but pretty much interesting analysis from this particular match is that the ball recovery time for Wolfsburg is higher compared to Dortmund, but we're not seeing them take this particular opportunity to make threats up front.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen much of that today. It's been a Dortmund game so far as they try to go forward, and it is, oh, what a stop on the line. What a stop on the line.
That is Jude.
Phyllis in Mecha doing a lot of hard work on that left-hand side. He did a very good job stopping the ball before it went out, but it seems like the ball had already crossed the touchline by that point. And so it goes out for a throw-in favor of Wolfsburg. It is Berger who is going to effect that throw-in. Tussle for the ball around the center circle. Nicolas Zule going forward, looking for Ryson. He finds Julian Brandt. Brandt lets one in. And it's a good one, but there's nobody there to connect. Oh! It was a really, really strong shot by Julian Ryson. But it was over the bar, and it was Julian Brandt that sent in a long curl from the right-hand side. He found the head of who seems to be Maximilian Bayer. Maximilian Bayer brought the ball back in, but there was nobody in the 18-yard box to connect to goal. Very, very unfortunate, but that was a really, really good chance for Dortmund. Wolfsburg building from behind once more. They let the ball in, but they lose possession. It's Nicolas Zule in charge of the ball, having possession of the ball at the moment. And he finds Valdemar Anton. Anton finds Nicolas. And the ball is gone out of touch for a Dortmund throw-in. Throw-in is going to be effected by Nico Schlotterbeck.
30 minutes of playtime, Michael. Still 0-0. And a look at other Bundesliga matches, Michael, that we are following. It's only, we're seeing action only at Mainz. And of course, Freiburg has already scored a goal, Michael. Mainz already 1 goal ahead. They're facing Wolfsburg. And St. Pauli facing Stuttgart. The game still at 0-0. The other one is Heidenheim versus Hamburg. And of course, a big shout out to all our listeners from Rai Power in Nigeria. Tell us your prediction of today's match, the match that we are commentating. Borussia Dortmund trying to ensure that their chase for the title is realistic if they can cut the points against the league leaders Bayern. Dortmund on the attack, Michael, and that should be a goal.
Oh, Metis!
That should be a goal.
That should have been a goal, Alex. It should have been a goal, George. I keep referring to you as Alex.
Maybe I'm the next.
Oh no, what a miss. What a miss. This was counter-attack at its best. Dortmund going forward. And it was Ryson who let a pass in.
And it was deflected.
Cutting in from the right-hand side and finding the foot of Maximilian Bayer, who let a shot fly, but it came off the crossbar, and it is not a goal.
Actually, it should have been a deflection from Dennis Vavro of Wolfsburg, Michael. He had a touch on that. It could have been an own goal if maybe it was a goal. Offside.
So Wolfsburg building again from behind. They're working that left-hand side. They find Paredes. Paredes back to Policien. Policien tried to fight the guy, but it's been stopped. And now it's back to Dortmund. Dortmund, Gracie to Maximilian Bayer. Bayer on the left-hand side, close side of the screen. He goes for it, trying to find, but he fumbles the ball, and it is cleared out of touch.
He was going for it alone.
Yeah, Maximilian Bayer probably over keeping the ball for too long. Nico Schlotterbeck steps up to get the throw in from the left-hand side as the Dortmund players make their way into the 18-yard box. Nico Schlotterbeck finds Svensson and he tries to go for it. Nico Schlotterbeck, he sends a long one in, but it is too strong. It goes across the face of the goal all the way out of touch on the other side of the pitch. We haven't seen much of Seu Girassi this afternoon, but that's because he hasn't had a lot of service. Again, back to Wolfsburg. It's Amoura again with the ball. With his pace, he checks, turns around, he finds Eriksson. Eriksson back to Maximilian Arnold. Arnold back to Eriksson. They're slowing down the pace of the game. The ball goes back to Vavro. Vavro to Policien. And it's Policien going for it on the left-hand side. And it goes all the way to the right-hand side to Berger. Berger finds on that right-hand side. Dagem tries to dribble. The ball comes back. Dortmund trying to organize their defense. All the players are falling back.
It was looking pinned and very comfortable. No chance for Wolfsburg at this particular moment, Michael. And
Wolfsburg tries to go for it, but the ball is stopped by Felix Mecha. And Dortmund are in possession of the ball again. Julian Brandt finds Mecha. Mecha back to Joe Bellingham. Nico Schlotterbeck in possession of the ball at the moment. Searching, he finds Valdemar Anton to Nicolas Zule. Zule to Ryerson on the right-hand side. Nicolas Zule, Ryerson, Anton, and now it's Nicolas Zule again. Back to Anton. Anton sends a long one to Schlotterbeck on that left-hand side. Schlotterbeck goes forward. He sends a long one in search of Ryerson, but this afternoon, I've seen them trying to find Ryerson on the right-hand side, but it's been very, very difficult. The ball is constantly overkicked, and nothing is working from the Ryerson side.
Yeah, and as we've earlier on mentioned, the ball recovery time for Wolfsburg is pretty much higher compared to Dortmund. And also, if we look at the last three games, Michael, we've seen Dortmund showcasing and attacking firepower, but at this particular time, it seems not to be materializing. Still at 0-0, and we're talking about the 35th minute. This was expected to be an easy game for them, but let's see.
In terms of possession, Dortmund has had about 65% of the possession, and that shows you that they have been the main people showing up for this game. They have controlled the possession, strung together their passes very, very well. But they are finishing third. They've lacked ideas. As again, they continue to hold the ball. It is Nico Schlotterbeck finding Imecha on the near side, the left side. Schlotterbeck to Seu Girassi. Girassi tries to go forward. He finds Svensson. Svensson is close to the touchline, but he sends the ball back to Nico Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck lets a long one onto the right-hand side, and he finds Nicolas Zule. Zule sends one back to Valdemar Anton. Anton back to Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck searching. He sends one in. It's a good one, but again, nobody there. Schlotterbeck found the head of Maximilian Bayer, Bayer sent the cross back in, but there was nobody there to connect to the goal, and it was cleared by Vavro.
Of course,
Dortmund have a corner kick.
Of course, another corner kick, Michael, and Dortmund are clearly on top and getting closer and closer to a goal. And maybe they may turn this, materialize, and make sure that this corner is the opportunity for them to score before the halftime break. And that is a goal. That is the goal.
It's a goal.
That is the goal. Julian Brandt,
the combination between Julian Reisen and Julian Brandt, the two Julians in the team combining to score a wonderful goal. It was Julian Reisen who sent in a very low cross from that left-hand side, and Julian Brandt was on the near side of the goalkeeper. He touched his head to the ball slightly, deflecting and beating the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper actually got his hand to the ball, but it was too late at this point. Dortmund up 1 goal ahead, and it's been coming, George, I should say.
It was coming. It was coming. I had smelled the goal earlier on, Michael. Of course, seeing Dortmund building up and creating clear chances. The goal was really and indeed coming, and the two Julians making Dortmund
So, kickoff after the goal scored, and Dortmund is back in possession of the ball. And it is Felix Nyecha who's got the ball. He's running onto the left-hand side. What's he going to be able to do? He sends in a really, really good one, but his touch was too short. He was trying to find Seou Girassi in the middle of the 18-yard box, but the touch was too short and was cleared by Wolfsburg. It's gone out of touch, but Dortmund again in possession of the ball. Another goal, another throw for Dortmund. Berger taking the ball out of touch once more. Wolfsburg clearly under a lot of pressure. Nico Schlotterberg walking slowly and calmly to the ball to effect the throw-in. The throw-in goes, finds Seou Girassi on the edge of the 18-yard box. He checks, tries to dribble one, but he's blocked. The ball is kicked out, and it finds Niklas Zule in the middle of the pitch, and the ball is cleared effectively by Julian Reisen. It goes to the edge of the Wolfsburg 18-yard box, and it's Maximilian Bayer who's got the ball now. What's he going to be able to do with that? He finds Nmecha. Nmecha goes all the way to Niklas Zule. They are going onto the right-hand side, and it's Reisen who finds Maximilian Bayer. And
this is total dominance, Michael. It should be total dominance.
Absolutely. They are playing Wolfsburg like a guitar, and it's Reisen again, all the way back to Nico Schlotterberg, I should say. Schlotterberg finds Svensson. Svensson again back to Job Bellingham in the middle of the 18-yard box, and it comes back to Nmecha on the edge of the center circle. Schlotterberg lets a long one in search of Maximilian Bayer, but it finds Julian Brandt. The ball comes back in possession of Dortmund. Dortmund rising again, and it is Joe Bellingham now on the right-hand side. What's he going to be able to do? He runs forward, searching, checks. He lets one in, but it is stopped by Maximilian Arnold. It goes out for a corner kick in favor of Dortmund.
Job Bellingham, the brother to Jude Bellingham. Of course, does he remind you of the brother sometimes?
Absolutely. He's got a very, very close physical likeness to his brother. I cannot talk about his footballing because he hasn't had so much playtime at Dortmund so far. But in terms of physical appearance, they look very, 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 very alike. As Svensson walks up to the corner flag to take the corner. So far, Dortmund has had 4 corners. Wolfsburg has had only 2. Svensson takes a step back. He goes back in. He's coming. All the Dortmund players are in the 18-yard box. He lets one in. Let's see what's going to happen with this. It's a long one, but
another corner.
Another corner. It was Seou Girassi who got his head to the ball, but it was stopped by Pelosian, who was protecting the near side of the goalkeeper's post.
Girassi having a word with the referee. Another one from Julian Reisen. Will he send it in through for another conversion? Let's see. There you go. There you go. Oh! Still an attempt at the goal. Nicolas Sule. That's a good attempt from Felix Mancha. Things look so disorganized right there, Michael.
There's a tussle for the ball in the 18-yard box of Wolfsburg. Dortmund trying to penetrate, but it's not very easy. All the Wolfsburg players are behind right now, blocking the shots. But it's Reisen who's got the ball at the moment on the right-hand side. He tries to go in, but he's blocked. He tries to find Joe Bellingham on the right-hand side. He does, but possession lost to Wolfsburg. It's Amoura who tries to go forward, but it's stopped again. It goes out of touch in favor of Wolfsburg. Amoura takes a quick throw in, and he finds eventually Maximilian Arnold. The ball is switched onto the left-hand side, but it goes back into the middle of the pitch, and it is Pelosian who's got the ball now, going for a surging forward. He goes all the way forward, and then he finds Amoura, who has switched his place. He's playing on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, I should say, the right wing at the moment. The ball finds Berger. Berger's touch lets him down, and it's gone out of touch for a throw-in favor of Dortmund.
The Volkswagen Arena, Michael, is a bit quiet, I should say. They had expected something different, perhaps.
Absolutely,
I can understand. The home team trailing 1 goal behind Dortmund, the league second position side.
But it's also about how their team is playing. If their team were holding on to the ball and making up chances, it would give them hope that they could equalize. But so far, in terms of possession, Dortmund still has about 65% of the possession. And so Dortmund has shown up to their games this afternoon, but not Wolfsburg. As they go forward once more, Nico Schlotterbeck, he finds Julian Brandt, and Brandt finds Imecha. Imecha back to Joe Bellingham. Bellingham all the way to the right-hand side for Reisen. Reisen sets, brings it back to Nicolas Zule. Zule lets a lob in. Who is he going to be able to find? Nobody in particular, but the ball falls to Reisen, and finally back to Julian Brandt again to Reisen on the right-hand side. He lets one in again, and it's Maximilian Bayer. There's nobody there, but it falls to Joe Bellingham. And
that was a very easy one from Felix Macha.
A lot of tussle at the edge of the 18-yard box. Dortmund absolutely dominating in terms of the possession and creating chances. It's Reisen again who has the ball, and they try to take off their leg of the steam to open up Wolfsburg. But it's Schlotterbeck once more who goes for the chance.
But a lot of activity, Michael.
Absolutely. Dortmund doing very, very fantastic.
Penalty area, it's quite a lot of activity there.
Wolfsburg doing more defending than actual playing. Now they've got their goal kick. They can slow the game down for a bit because they've been under a lot of pressure so far in the last 10 minutes. And we are in extra time at the end of the first half. 45 minutes played so far. The ball is sent in, long one. And again, nothing comes out of that. Dortmund again back in possession of the ball.
3 minutes of added time before we take a break of this particular match. To all our listeners, the game is still at 1-0. Dortmund ahead of this. And piling a lot of pressure with crosses after crosses sailing through into the box. The goal having come from one of the crosses, Julian Reisen having made a very clear cross for Julian Brandt to convert it. Michael, we should just admit that Dortmund is the better side today.
They've certainly been the better side, absolutely. They have looked very, very dangerous when they go forward. But at times they have looked quite, they've looked very vulnerable on the counter-attack. But so far, have dominated possession. they have tried to make more chances, but they still need to improve their conversion. They have a lot of possession, but when it comes to finishing in the final third, they're still lacking there. They have another chance here with a corner. I believe now they're in their sixth corner, and it is Svensson who steps up. He raises his right hand, and he's going to send in the ball in a few minutes. He sends it in. What's he going to be able to make out of that? It goes in, but nothing really comes out of that. And it is Amoura who's got a ball on the counter-attack. Counter-attack, what's he going to be able to make out of that? He goes forward, checks, sends the ball in. Wolfsburg surging forward, and the ball is cleared poorly, and it's back in the possession of Amoura for Wolfsburg. Sliding tackle by Maximilian Bayer sends the ball out of touch for a throw. It was a clean tackle. He went for the ball, and he got the ball.
Very brilliant defending from Maximilian.
And yes, the referee whistles for the end of the first half. It's been, I should say, a Dortmund game so far in this first half of the game. They have completed more passes, they have possessed the ball more, they have run more, they have defended more, and they've got more shots on target. They've had 15 shots in total, 3 on target, and Wolfsburg has got 4 shots in total, none on target. So it tells you the difference in class between Wolfsburg and Dortmund. Clearly, Amoura being the most dangerous of the Wolfsburg side so far this afternoon. But Dortmund has been playing very, very well. They have coordinated very well. They have defended quite well. 66% of the possession compared to 34% for Wolfsburg. And they have a goal to show for it. That goal coming through Julian Reisen, who crossed from the left-hand side and found the waiting head of Julian Brandt.
That's true, Michael.
Yeah, they beat Kamil Grabara very, very easily. It was a very, very easy goal.
But of course it was coming, Michael. I could have smelled the goal from a distance.
Certainly it was coming, but I think that the goalkeeper should have done a better job, protecting that near side of his goalpost. But that is not to take anything away from Dortmund. They've played very, very well here this afternoon, and they've been clearly the better side, and they have a goal to show for it. And talking about Dortmund, George.
Yes.
The Dortmund Academy is currently in Ghana as we speak. They are establishing a football academy that is trying to recruit more talent from Ghana. As you may know, Ghana is one of Africa's top football countries, and they have so much talent.
Proudly so.
They have so much talent, and even within the Bundesliga, you can talk about players of Ghanaian descent. You can talk about the Jeremy Boateng and Kevin Boateng. You can talk about Sami Kufo, who played for Bayern Munich. You can also talk in recent times about Jeremy Frimpong. When you go to the English Premier League, you can talk about Jeremy Doku, who plays for Manchester City.
Yes.
And recently they bought the player who has joined them from the Ghanaian player. I've forgotten his name now, but also one of their top strikers right now at the moment. So all across the leagues, you've got top players who come from Ghana, who have Ghanaian descent, playing at the top flight of football. And that is what Dortmund Academy is trying to tap into.
It's a powerhouse. It's an African football powerhouse.
Certainly a powerhouse. And so let's catch up with Isaac Kalechi and the team in Accra. Dortmund officials minutes ago officially launched the International Academy in Accra. And Isaac is on standby to talk to some sports analysts on what it means for Dortmund, Ghana, and the Bundesliga. Isaac, take over.
Bundesliga Radio, live.
Hello, George and Michael. Thank you so much for coming to Accra for this halftime talk. Well, so in Accra today, a lot of people are watching this match. There's a watch party taking place here in Accra where supporters of Dortmund and some, I would say, little who support Wolfsburg are watching this match. But it's also a special day in Accra because Dortmund, one of the teams that are playing this afternoon, are also launching an academy here in Accra, and the academy is going to nurture young talents and get them out there to be seen by the rest of the world. I want to talk to some people who are watching this match, especially some sports analysts and journalists, to find out from them how important this initiative is and how this can also help promote the Bundesliga here in Accra or in Ghana and also across Africa. I have Gary Al Smith here, who is a very popular, renowned sports journalist and analyst. Let me find out from you first, Gary, how do you feel about the launch of this academy here in Accra today?
At this ceremony, we have only heard one thing, that they are interested in developing people first, before developing footballers. And I think that's important for the future, not just of Africa, but the future of the world. We need better people, and sports is just a conduit to do that, so that we know that the statistics show that literally less than 1% of the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who go through the sports hope pipeline, get to be footballers or athletes. The rest, they need to get something out of the training. And I think that's what Borussia Dortmund are doing. So as they operate a pay-to-play model, not many parents can afford it. But what will happen is that we are hoping they are going to impact the Ghanaian community through discipline, teaching the German attributes that we know of excellence, of precision, and also of planning, which is what Ghana sorely needs and Africa sorely needs. So welcome to them.
I guess you mentioned it's pay to play basis, right? But that's an interesting model, right? Because we still have parents who would love to see their kids get to the top, but they don't know where to send them to. They don't know who really can give them the right training. But this should be a good model for them to see that this is a good investment.
Absolutely. One of the most frequent questions we get as a sports journalist is, where do I take my child to become like this person that my child idolizes on the TV, whether it's footballer, whether it's athlete? And we are always at a loss because there are so few in West Africa, and even in Ghana, it's even worse. So this gives an option to parents. Obviously, the charges that have been mentioned will be prohibitive for some, but at least for a certain selection of people, it will be accessible. And it's an investment. Some people invest in quality education, some would like to invest in quality football, but I was also very pleased to hear that they operated an 80-20 model, which is a 20% for those who are talented but cannot afford to pay. So it's one step at a time, and hopefully the model will be so good that it might increase to 30, 40, 50% for those who cannot afford. So again, we welcome them to Ghana.
You work at Sporty TV, Sporty FM, and you promote a lot of leagues across the world. How important is an initiative like this for the German Bundesliga in Ghana and Africa?
We are also an official broadcaster for the German Bundesliga, and the tagline for Bundesliga, as you know, football as it's meant to be. It's not just an ideal tagline. German football likes to pride itself on being literally football in its pure form. Entertainment, passion, fun, but also very technical, tapping in from the German culture of excellence. So we are proud to be an official sponsor through our broadcast as well. And through this partnership, hopefully we can show more African talent that can pass through the Bundesliga and show that it is really the best league in the world.
What can the German Bundesliga do to ride up there? We know that the English Premier League, yes, is very popular, but what do you think the German league can do to get up there?
The Premier League is popular, but they envy the Bundesliga for its connection to the fans. And I think that's something that the Bundesliga must never lose, because it is an identity that you cannot take away from them. So for me, popularity is good, but heart, soul, and identity is better. The connection with the communities is something that the Bundesliga prides itself on. And so even as they aim for commercial success to rival the Premier League, I would say, and I choose to look at the cup as half full. And that is what I would say about the Bundesliga and how great it is.
Okay, and today Wolfsburg and Dortmund are actually battling it out. Are you being impressed with Dortmund's performance this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's not been vintage Champions League winning form, but we know that they are a club in sort of transition. They are trying a couple of players, getting themselves worked up to rival the likes of Bayern Munich, obviously, Bayer Leverkusen, who are also in a bit of a transition at the moment. But I think that a few infusions, world-class infusions, is just what Borussia Dortmund needs to become the team that we saw about 5 or 6 years ago. They will get there, but truthfully, they are not there yet.
Thank you so much, Gary. Okay, let me now bring in another very renowned sports journalist in Ghana who now works with the BBC, George Addo Jr. Let me just find out from you too, George. How do you feel about this initiative being launched in Accra today? How does it feel for you?
To be the first in Africa, it opens the country up to so much, because I think that when it comes to development of football, we are lacking behind. We don't have the kind of government support. We don't have the kind of infrastructure and structure that the likes of Morocco, South Africa, Senegal have. So once we have more of these private entities coming in, then it means that it gives us a chance at getting wonderful talent who can then play for the national teams, whether it's under 17 all the way till it's the Black Stars. So that's the first thing for us. And also the index of Ghanaian players, how much they cost over the continent, because at the moment, when your country is not known to be producing a lot of stars, the bargaining power is really low. So once we're able to up that in terms of the youth talent that we're able to export via clubs like Dortmund, via clubs like Juventus, it obviously gives us that leverage and it puts us on the map. So I'm very happy for this. And then not to even talk about the opportunities that it gives journalists, it gives other people around such a huge infrastructure here.
I know you are involved in some of these kinds of initiatives where you are developing young talents in the UK. I mean, how important would this be for the promotion of the German Bundesliga even in Ghana? For people to fall in love with the league because they can see the talents here in such leagues.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ways to impact the community is by partaking or doing things in the community that directly, benefits them, and that's the first thing for me. The model that we have run in Ghana most of the times is that we have got even clubs that have names that the community cannot connect with. Dortmund in the community, seeing their friends, seeing their brothers attend an academy, it's instant promotion right from there. The fact that my 7-year-old is in the youth academy here means that I have a certain affiliation to Dortmund, and it only flows that I'll start reading about Dortmund. I'll start reading about the young men who went through the Dortmund Academy. I'll start dreaming about visiting Dortmund one day, and I think all in all it does. And once I start thinking about Dortmund, I think about all the clubs that are playing against Dortmund. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm definitely talking German Bundesliga. And it's something that's in our DNA. It's only died a bit, but it's good to rekindle this one. I think this is one of the best ways to promote the Bundesliga here.
You report in the UK, we know the English Premier League is very popular. You think the German Bundesliga can also get up there if they continue to have some of these initiatives?
Yeah, they have to start from a place. And this is a green field. No English Premier League club has an academy here in Ghana. So there's a huge opportunity for Dortmund to begin this way. And hopefully there will be more around Africa. And I think that will strengthen it, because before the Bundesliga was ahead of the English Premier League, they have adapted a marketing strategy that was basically more on how the consumers are tapping it. But what the Bundesliga has started, and through Dortmund, what they have started is by partaking in the community. I think that's bigger than just participation. So people will speak about Dortmund because they have a rare connection, some kind of connection to Dortmund. So I think that this, over a period of time, will definitely start showing in terms of the interest here in Ghana.
And today, Dortmund is playing Wolfsburg. Have you been impressed with Dortmund's season so far?
It's really been interesting with the way Dortmund have gone. You always have a feeling that Dortmund have the firepower. And again, you have the feeling that Dortmund can disappoint. I hope that they get this job done. I don't think that it's a bit too much against Wolfsburg, but you just have to see the team doing what they have to do. It's interesting sometimes look at their performances there in the Champions League versus what they're doing in domestic. And you cannot, the Bundesliga itself can be very fierce. Wolfsburg can appear and get on a day like this and cause a lot of trouble. But for our sake, we're hoping that Dortmund are able to pick up the win, which I think they're capable of actually.
Well, thank you so much, Gary and George, for speaking to me. And well, I can tell you that the excitement is still in here at the watch party. People really are excited about today's match. And I'm sure that by the end of the whole match, the best team obviously will win. But from me here in Accra, back to you in the studio, Michael and George, continue to enjoy your commentary, and we'll all look forward to the end of the match to see who really emerges victorious eventually, and who really can make their season quite exciting or build up on that and end up finishing the season strongly. Back to you in the studios in Bonn.
Bundesliga Radio, live.
So that was Isaac Kalechi talking to George Addo Jr. and Gary Al Smith, sports journalist, African sports journalist, at the watch party that the Dortmund Academy has organized in Accra, currently ongoing. And they are watching the game that we are commenting on today. They are watching the game between Dortmund and Wolfsburg. And I'm sure they must be very happy at the moment because Dortmund is ahead.
Definitely, they are ahead.
They are ahead and they are playing very, very well.
Yes.
And so hopefully they are getting excited, and it's going to end up as an exciting day for the people who have gathered in Accra to watch their favorite team play, and also, recruit young talents. That's the goal, to recruit young talents in Accra.
Yeah, and Dortmund is pretty much known for that, Michael. We've seen even talents that they're producing in Europe. Basically, talk about the Erling Haalands of this world. They all came from Dortmund, and it's always a good opportunity to play for Dortmund in the academy. Many kids who are in that academy will tell you the same. But of course, back to the game, Michael. The Dortmund side is 1 goal ahead, thanks to Brandt's composed finish, which was a cross from Julian Reisen. And then the hosts, we must say, they looked sharper earlier on, but this, pressure wore off, and most of their balls are just ending at the midfield. And the only chance we had was only when Amoura came close to equalizing, but he couldn't convert this particular chance.
So the second half about to start. Refereeing whistles for the start of the second half. Dortmund in their gray and neon colors, gray top and neon shorts with matching socks, neon colors as well. And then we've got Wolfsburg in their home attire, which is all green, forest green with matching hoses as well. Dortmund now playing from left to right, and Wolfsburg from right to left. The referee today is Timo Gerak, and he is the man officiating the game this afternoon. So we resume proceedings here in the Volkswagen Arena, and Wolfsburg trying to make a statement. They are coming forward very, very quickly, but the cross from the left-hand side stopped by Niklas Zule. It was Paredes who was running on that near side on the pitch, trying to find Amoura in the middle, but that cross was stopped by Niklas Zule. And Wolfsburg have the first corner kick of the second half, and it is Christian Eriksen who is behind the ball. He checks, raises both hands, and he's going to send that one in. Are they going to be able to make anything out of that? It comes in quickly, and it is grabbed by Gregor Kobel. There was no fuss about that kick. It went straight into the arms of Gregor Kobel, and Dortmund is going forward. It's Felix Ingmecha who is going on the left-hand side. He finds Julian Reisen. Oh, and that is a terrible knock on Julian Reisen. It is Koulirakis who fouled Julian Reisen on that left-hand side, and he's been booked the first yellow card of the game. And it's actually Maximilian Bayer who was fouled, and so Koulirakis has been booked the first yellow card of the game.
Of course, Michael, him fouling Julian Reisen at this particular point, and Reisen has been seen to be making a lot of attempts for Dortmund side today. He looks more sharper today, the Norwegian right back, and then his features on many Dortmund games, having assisted 6 goals so far, and today he's just on point, Michael.
Absolutely. So it is Svensson and Maximilian Bayer behind the ball. Okay, so Svensson lends a long one in, and it gets fumbled. The ball is kicked out by Wolfsburg, but it is Niklas Zule who gets to the ball first, and he sends it back to Gregor Kobel. And Dortmund, unfortunately, Gregor Kobel miskicks that ball. It ends up with Shogai, but Dortmund are able to recover. and it is Maximilian Bayer, Julian Brandt, I should say, who's got the ball now, and he loses it to Kyriakis. It goes all the way back to Grabara. Grabara building from behind, he checks. He lets a long one in search of Chogai, but it is Nicolas Zule who is tiring over Chogai, who gets his head to the ball. And the ball is kicked softly, trying to find Seo Girassi. Girassi, the lone striker up front this afternoon, hasn't been very, very loud so far, but also because he hasn't got a lot of service so far this afternoon. And the Dortmund players calming the game down. It is Wildemar Anton finds Joe Bellingham. Bellingham finds Ryerson, but the ball had too much speed on it. And so Ryerson's his control let him down. The ball is gone out of touch for a throw in.
Wolfsburg must change their tact here today, Michael, if they have to have any chance at the goal, and reduce Dortmund's possession as much as they can, because so far, since the ball started rolling again, Dortmund is still kicking and controlling possession so far, Michael. Ryerson Julian today being the man of the match today for me, Michael, if you asked, and a lot of assists, the runs that he's making so brilliant, and pretty much a good performance. There you go, Wolfsburg having an attempt. They're asking for a handball there. Was the ball handled, really?
It looks like the ball was handled by Nico Schlotterbeck, and he's got a second yellow card of the game. One would argue that his hand was in a natural position.
No, that was intentional.
It was intentional. On replay, it was very, very intentional, and that was very silly of him. He's now got a yellow card. And a big shout out to the watch party that is happening in Accra. I have just gotten wind that they are listening to our commentary. So big shout out to all of you in Accra who are listening to us via our social media platforms, and also to the people who spoke to us. We have a second report that we're going to play towards the end of this broadcast, so stick and stay. As we prepare for the Wolfsburg free kick, it is Eriksson who sends a long one in. It's a goal!
It is a goal, Michael!
It is a goal! It is Kyriakis. It is the defender Kyriakis who equalizes for Wolfsburg. It was Eriksson who sent in a very beautiful, it was a very, very well taken free kick, and Kyriakis was right there at the right spot, and he had the header and challenge. Gregor Kobo got his hand to the ball, but it was too late. There was too much power on it. He couldn't do anything about that. And it is a very, very well taken goal, an equalizer by Wolfsburg. The scoreline is now 1-1. So we've got 2 goals from 2 heads.
2 headers, brilliant crossings, and 2 goals for off the match, and of course each side sharing the spoil now, Michael, and the game begins. I should say Konstantinos, the Greek centre-back, of course, 22-year-old, towering 1.88 meters, left-footed, converting one, and of course psyching up the mood.
Okay, so it seems like we have a VAR check here. The goal hasn't been confirmed. We've got a VAR check, so the check is over. It is a goal, and so goal stands. The scoreline is now 1-1. It would be such a shame for Dortmund, after all the possession they've had in this game, to end up, to equalize, to share the spoils here this afternoon. But they are in possession at the moment. What would they be able to make out of this? And they seem to be going forward, but they've lost possession. It's Belosien who's got it now. Belosien finds Arnold back to Belosien. They search on the left-hand side. They've got Paredes running on the left-hand side. He goes forward. He sends a quick, easy one, and it goes for it. It's almost a goal. It is Amoura who miskicks the ball, but that was not a bad chance at all. Amoura was in the right place. Michael. He clipped the top of the crossbar. Gregor Kobel thoroughly beaten. He had no chance to stop that ball if that ball had gone in. So Dortmund, in spite of their possession, living dangerously in the second half. And as we speak, it's Niklas Zule again who nearly loses possession, and Dortmund recover. They are trying to build again. It's Svensson on their left-hand side. He goes forward, running forward. There are a couple of 5 or 4 Dortmund players. What were they able to make out of this? Svensson sends in a one, but it is easily collected by Grabara. The ball is grabbed by Grabara, and the captain of the side, Eriksson, is on the pitch, and he is in pain. So once again, we go back to that silly error by Nico Schlotterberg, where he intentionally handled the ball, and that's what led to that free kick and the equalizer. No, of course, in hindsight, it paid off. In hindsight, you shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have done that, and many could have perhaps called for a red card, Michael. It was very intentional. Christian Eriksen still down, Michael. Could be an injury that can lead to him being substituted.
So it's actually Arnold who was on the, not Eriksen. Arnold actually. He is on the pitch, but he's up now and stretching his legs. He has to get off the pitch and walk back in. At the moment, he seems like he's able to continue. Dortmund would be wanting to get everything back on the road quickly so that they don't lose their steam.
Of course, after Kylian Fischer having been substituted after getting that hamstring injury, I'm sure Wolfsburg wouldn't be in a good position to lose another player currently due to injury. The ball looking settled, and Dortmund pretty much in possession, taken away by Wolfsburg. Quite a tussle at the midfield between Maximilian Arnold against Julian Brandt. Eriksson. Niklas Sule with a pretty good crossing to Garasi. There you go, Michael Nimacha. Oh, the attempt has been Michael, the game space seems to have reduced since the beginning of the second half.
Indeed it has. Quite a number of injuries in the second half, as we see Kevin Paredes on the pitch. He also in a bit of pain, and I can see why. He kicked the bottom of Niklas Zule's boot when Zule tried to clear the ball earlier. That was, it didn't look like there was any malice in there. So Dortmund gets the show back on the road. They are behind. It's equal. It's equal right now, but it seems like Dortmund is behind because based on their possession, they should at least be 2 goals up, and they wouldn't want to not take all 3 points here this afternoon, because if they really want to be able to catch up to Bayern Munich, the table leaders, then they have to take all the chances that they get, and it starts from here at the Volkswagen Arena.
Or perhaps they are pretty much comfortable at the second position, Michael. That is the argument for many football pundits, but I'm sure that is not the intention of their coach. and all the players putting up a spirited performance today. At the moment, with this game as it stands, Dortmund is at 46 points. That is 5 points behind league leaders Bayern Munich. I'm sure that is something they would want to cut down, and perhaps hope that Bayern would lose some points. And cutting it at 3 can make this title chase a bit realistic. There you go, Dortmund again. Oh! That has been cleared. That was a cross from Julian Rasson, the man of the match for me today. But it was easily cleared by the defense of Wolfsburg. And it is a corner kick, Michael.
Ryson's work rate has been quite high this afternoon, George.
He's actually overworking, which is good for the team. Let's see. Another corner kick by Ryson. Will it create another goal chance? And there he goes.
So
it's time clear away.
So a lot of attempts to clear and blocking in the 18-yard box of Wolfsburg. Nicolas Zule calmly tries to connect with Valdemar Anton, but that doesn't work out. It is Kento Chogai who clears the ball, and now the ball is in the possession of Wolfsburg. And we've got Pelusien quickly throwing the ball. He sends it back towards the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper finds Vavro. Vavro sends a long one in towards the throw line, but that is lost. And it's Nico Schlotterberg who's got the ball. Nicolas Zule goes forward. He tries to run forward, but he loses possession and tries to recover. But yeah, he loses possession eventually. And it is against Parades.
Michael, you must admit that this game has been turned on its head, and right now, much as Dortmund have the possession and an upper hand, it is now head-to-head.
It absolutely is. Dortmund would be the side that should have been up 2 or 3 goals now because of their possession, you know. But the momentum now is with Wolfsburg because they have equalized, and in spite of being under so much pressure, they have managed to stave off the pressure, and they're doing very, very well.
Grabara, the goalkeeper of Wolfsburg, starting off the game there, and a long cross. A clear chance again for Amoura. Oh!
Dortmund living dangerously there. Amoura coming ever closer and closer to the second goal for Wolfsburg. This time round, it was Amoura and Valdemar Anton. He quickly outran Anton and he let fly, but accuracy failed him. But he is one dangerous striker that Dortmund would need to watch.
Indeed, Dortmund needs to watch him. This is maybe perhaps the 3rd chance that he has. Perhaps the 4th one would be a conversion, Michael. Another passing to Amoura. Good play between Amoura and Adam Dahim. Wolfsburg looking organized here.
That was beautiful football by Wolfsburg, stringing together their passes, and it was Parades who nearly went in between Nicolas Zule and Valdemar Anton, but
the Volkswagen Arena has erupted, Michael. They seem
that
uncomfortable.
There should have been a penalty at least, or a foul, because Nicolas Zule shouldered Parades off the ball.
They should,
and they think that was a foul at least.
It should have been a foul. We must check it again, Michael. Maybe they could call for a VAR.
And as we look now, we have Amoura who is on the pitch and he's holding his knee. He seems to have taken a knock in that attempt as well. So many players, so many Wolfsburg players. So Amoura is up but limping. We've got Shogai who is holding his midsection. And they've also got Belosien who seems to have taken a knock on his shoulder. Okay, so yeah, regarding Belosien, he was shouldered off the ball by Nicolas Zule. And you know Nicolas Zule is such a huge player.
He's well-bodied.
So imagine Belosien on the smaller side getting shouldered off by Nicolas Zule. He's taking a real hit. We have some substitutions happening here on the side of Wolfsburg. We've got Kento Shogai coming off for Lovro Maya. And then we've got Kevin Parades also coming off for Jasper Lindstrom. So 2 new players coming on for Wolfsburg, turning on the heat for Dortmund.
That's the Wolfsburg coach pretty much trying to strengthen his attacking front. The 2 players who are off, Michael, who are leading in the attacking front. Let's see if the new blood would make some changes for Wolfsburg. And there you go. Another cross for Amoura. And that is a goal. Oh! It was almost
a goal.
It
was a really good effort by Amoura. Such a brilliant striker there. And he took the ball on as soon as it dropped on him. Dakim sent a long one in, and he was being chased down by Valdemar Anton, and Amoura took it one time. It was such a brilliant goal attempt, but the accuracy was a bit lacking there.
Mohamed Amoura, of course, the Algerian player, and hopefully, Michael, with all those attempts, maybe a goal is beckoning.
It looks like now the game is stabilizing. Wolfsburg coming forward a bit more, and they look more dangerous when they come forward. It looks like some of the Dortmund players are getting tired, and so probably time for Niko Kovac to make some substitutions.
Another clear one for Amoura. Oh, not again.
I mean, Amoura went forward. He had support on his left and his right, and he should have just passed the ball in this case. It was a bit selfish on his part in this case. He tried to go in for the goal, but he was properly blocked. But Nico Schlotterberg losing the ball too quickly, too easily, staying too long with the ball, trying to dribble and then losing possession, and then, the pressure comes back onto Dortmund.
Of course, it will be pretty sad if this game ends on a draw, Michael, because Niko Kovac would be keen to come out with maximum points here. And equally Wolfsburg, who are also at the rock bottom of, not the rock bottom, but, staring at the rock bottom of the table. They are very keen to ensure that they win this particular one. And only some 2 points separates them from the relegation zone, which is a very dangerous position to be. Very dangerous and uncomfortable. 1-1 it is. Dortmund 1. Wolfsburg 1. Who is getting away with maximum points, or is this game ending at 1-1 draw? Eriksson trying to look for Amoura. They're building it from behind, Michael.
But their build-up is very, very fast. Wolfsburg going forward quickly. And it ends up in a goal kick for Dortmund. But the major difference between Dortmund and Wolfsburg build-up is that Wolfsburg tends to be very, very fast. And certainly, I think that this is certainly long overdue. Julian Rising comes off, and we've got Fabio Silva who comes on. Hopefully, he is going to get a bit more luck working on that right-hand side, because they really need to get maximum points out of this. Dortmund showing that they're bringing on a striker to show that they really want to get a point out of this. And Dortmund feebly losing possession once again to Wolfsburg.
It's a nasty foul by Eriksson against Job Bellingham. That was a foul for Dortmund.
And it is Phyllis Mecha who is fouled now by the new entrant, Maya. So Phyllis Mecha gets a foul for Dortmund. Dortmund takes it quickly. Nicolas Zule in the middle of the pitch. Now Maximilian Bayer has moved to the right-hand side where Rising used to play. And we've got Fabio Silva pairing up with the striker, Seu Girassi. So we've got two men up front at the moment.
Another clear chance for Amoura.
Those looks like they go. And unfortunately, it is Gregor Kobel who prevents the second goal from happening. It was Amoura versus Gregor Kobel. There was no one else in between Kobel and Amoura. And unfortunately, he shot wide and shot directly into Gregor Kobel. Wolfsburg should have been up 2 goals by now.
In fact, 3 goals, Michael. If you count all the chances Amoura has gotten, they are all clear chances which he has been unable, literally, to convert. With a striker of his caliber, Michael, what is happening to Amoura today? What is happening to this player today?
And for he had a really good chance, really good chance. I hope that he doesn't live to regret it, because this was a begging opportunity. Gregor Kobel was covering the near side of the post, and that is unfortunately the same side that Amoura shot at. So he limited the angle he could score from. Niko Kovac is up. So far in this game, he has been very silent. But after 70 minutes, he's up and he's issuing instructions from the sidelines now.
And it will be remembered, Michael, that Niko Kovac once coached Wolfsburg, so he's back at the Volkswagen Arena this time as, the opponent. And these were in Bundesliga matches between the summer of 2022 and March 2024. He's a very great coach, Michael, who has, he speaks so fondly of his players, even when they are under pressure. Oh, Wolves clearly having some clear chances there, Michael. And now a better build-up for Dortmund.
Dortmund going for it. Svensson on the left-hand side. He lets one fly, but it was not accurate. Ball is not lost. Fabio Silva to Mecha. Mecha back to Svensson. And they slow the game down. It is Nico Schlotterberg who finds Schlotterberg again back to Svensson. Svensson finds Fabio Silva, who's moved to the left-hand side now. So between Svensson and Nico Schlotterberg, and now in Mecha back to Schlotterberg. Again, a lot of play going on there. Job Bellingham comes into the picture now. We got Fabio Silva, who's moved all the way to the left-hand side of the pitch. He lets one fly, but he didn't find anyone, and it's gone all the way. Was supposed to find Phyllis Mecha, but ball is lost, and it's Amoura who takes on both Nicolas Zule and Maximilian Bayer. Now, whenever Amoura takes on Nicolas Zule, I can see that the difference is in speed. Because Nicolas Zule has got a build, he's got a bulk, but
Yes.
Amoura is faster. So
Amoura is definitely faster compared
Nicolas
to...
Zule definitely needs a lot of support when he is up against Amoura. Dortmund trying to go forward, but it's become more difficult for them now. Finally finding Maximilian Bayer, who's been quiet in the second half, but the ball goes out of touch. Wolfsburg going forward again. They have the ball once more, but that is taken away by Dortmund. Dortmund find Fabio Silva. Silva has dropped back to support in the midfield. He finds Svensson. Svensson to Joe Bellingham. Job to Felix. Felix goes forward, finds Maximilian Bayer. Back to Julian Brandt. That was a poorly taken shot by Maximilian Bayer, and it goes out of touch for a goal kick. Grabara steps up to take the goal kick. He's urging his players to go forward, go into the middle of the pitch. He sends it all the way to the middle of the pitch. He was trying to find his players, but that did not work out. The ball is back in the possession of Dortmund.
Michael, would you say that you're missing Adeyemi in this particular game?
Certainly, Dortmund is missing something. You know, they have the possession, but they're missing some creativity up front. They need somebody to work the wings and, you know, create chances. Their build-up play has also been quite slow compared to Wolfsburg. So if they are going to get anything out of this game, the 3 points, then they really need to up the tempo and play with a bit more accuracy up front. As they lose again, they lose their possession. The ball is gone out of touch for a Dortmund throw in.
And you know, when the match began, Michael, you had made a prediction that it would be, you know, a contest between Garassi versus Amoura. But I'm not seeing Garassi with, you know, clear chances. Remember, this was his 50th Bundesliga appearance for Borussia Dortmund, having scored 29 goals so far. But are you seeing his quality come to play today?
Unfortunately, he hasn't got a lot of service, I should say. So he hasn't had the chance to, you know, do the Garassi thing that we know him for. And that, I would say, is down to the midfielders who have failed to connect. You know, a lot of the possession is in the Dortmund half of the pitch, and that is a problem because they need to go forward and show clear opportunities for, you know, a player like Girassi to be able to attempt goal. But now they have a chance to build once more, and it's Valdemar Anton who finds Phyllis Mecha. Quick turnaround by Phyllis Mecha, quick play, and they go forward. They find Seo Girassi. Girassi now, he two-pulls one, he goes forward, but the final touch lets him down. He took on the defense. He tried to dribble past Berger. He was slightly only successful, but eventually his final touch let him down. As we watch Phyllis Mecha on the floor there, he seemed to have been kicked by Bayer in that build-up. This is a corner for Dortmund, and it is Julian Brandt who steps up for a change. Dortmund has had so many corner kicks.
Oh! Pretty nice corner kick by Julian Brandt there, Michael. Another opportunity for Julian Brandt. Nice play with the fresh foot there, to Silva. Back to the goalkeeper, Corbel, building up from the back, Nicolas Sule. Job Bellingham, Nicolas Sule. They are trying to find the attacking line, definitely, Michael. And but remember, the game is 1-1.
Dortmund's build-up play has been quite slow, I should say. It's very, very slow. There hasn't been a lot of long surging passes to the front in search of Sekou Girassi. So he's had to sometimes fall back to support the midfield.
At the beginning of the game, Wolfsburg coach had said that, they learned from Heidenheim's belief that they can beat Dortmund too. I'm sure that is the encouragement he gave to the boys. And perhaps another goal could come on the way of Wolfsburg to at least excite the home fans at this Volkswagen Arena, actually. And that is a cross that should be... Oh, it hits the crossbar, Michael.
That was the second goal you were talking about. It was Maya who got... it was a really nice cross coming in, and Maya got a header, and they only clipped the crossbar and bounced off. Gregor Kobel was caught ball watching. It was far beyond what he could do. And so if the ball was going towards the pole, Gregor Kobel would have been helpless. So we have here Joe Bellingham, who's also been he's been silent so far in the game.
Yeah, you're on point to say that the build-up has been quite slow for Dortmund. Much as they have the possession, the pace itself is pretty much wanting.
They go forward once more. Nico Schlotterberg. And he finds Svensson. Svensson back to Schlotterberg. Schlotterberg to Valdemar Anton, to Niklas Zule. Zule to Mecha. Mecha looking, going forward. Maximilian Bayer on the right-hand side. Bayer pulls one, tries to run. And he finds Julian Brandt. Nicolas Zule sends in a long searching one, but it doesn't find Sekou Girassi, who was the intended target. And Wolfsburg have the ball now. And it's Maya who lets a long one in. And he finds, surprisingly, Amoura, who was right there. But his possession, his control, I should say, let him down. And the ball is out of touch for a throw in.
Do you think it's the right time for Amoura to now give way for another striker to come and...
Certainly, I mean, they've got only 8 minutes of regular time to play, and we are on the 82nd minute. So if there is a striker who's got fresh legs, can come in to invigorate the attacking front, certainly, why not? So they're going forward very quickly. Eriksson runs forward, and it is Maya. Maya who gets the ball, but his touch lets him down. Wolfsburg looking like the side that is going to get a second goal. They're looking more and more dangerous as we see that Berger is on the ground. He is taking a knock and he's on the ground.
They are rallying behind perhaps the encouragement from their coach, who say that Dortmund is beatable. Michael, do you believe Dortmund can be beaten?
Yeah, despite all of the Dortmund Academy people who are in Accra, I say that Dortmund is beatable. And Wolfsburg has shown it here. And as you predicted, Amoura goes off. And we've got who is going on to replace Amoura. We're going to get confirmation of that in a few minutes. So, yes, we've got Amoura off. And we've got Pecinovic, who is coming on. And then we've also got Daghem coming off for Matthias Svanberg.
And this clearly shows you that Daniel Farmer is pretty much interested to strengthen the attacking front, perhaps yearning for the 3 points. And that would do magic to remove them from that relegation and comfortable zone. And that should be the goal. Oh, Michael, that was almost.
That was brilliant. It was brilliant play. And now Dortmund come forward, counter-attack. They're coming forward.
This is getting interesting and smoking. Perhaps a goal is beckoning, Michael, from either of the sides.
If I were a betting man, I'd place my money on Wolfsburg to score the second goal as they go forward. Lindstrom on the left-hand side. He sends one searching ball in, but Nico Schlotterbeck clears that. And it is back to Wolfsburg. We've got Maya, who's put in everything to clear that ball.
Do you think Wolfsburg has turned the pressure against Dortmund now, Michael?
Clearly now the game is balanced out and Wolfsburg seem to be more in control as we get to the last few minutes of this game.
They're hungry for goals.
They are definitely hungry for goals, and they are the more attacking side now.
Let's see, their equalizing goal came from such a set piece, Michael. After a foul, there was what you called silly handling of the ball.
And Nico Schlotterbeck would need to be careful because he's already on a yellow card. And so he would want to be careful here.
Eriksen again with that cross made. Let's see. Oh, that lands easy on Corbell's hands, who immediately shoots it forward to try and fight Maximilian Bayer. Maximilian Bayer trying to find Veresi, but that cross is too wide. Cleared by Wolfsburg side. Dortmund wins the goal again. Maximilian Bayer again with the ball. Back to Julian Brandt. Julian Brandt, a good crossing, but cleared by the Wolfsburg defense. At this particular point, anything can happen, Michael. It's only 5 minutes of the normal play time. Both the sides are careful. And there you go! There you go! Predicted it.
It's a goal! The player that has been silent all of this game, Sekou Girassi, finally puts his name on the score sheet. A few minutes ago, we were talking about how he's been silent, ruled out of this game, and he has announced his presence at a crucial moment in this game. But a lot of the hard work was done by Felix Nmecha, who took on 3-4 defenders before passing on to Fabio Silva on the left-hand side. Silva does a 1-2, finds Sekou Girassi, who is placed perfectly, and he lets the ball fly way beyond Grabara. Grabara reached for it, but unfortunately, he could not stop that ball.
He couldn't stop it.
It's a beautiful goal by Sekou Girassi.
That couldn't be stopped, Michael, and it's a very crucial goal at the 87th minute, Michael. Dortmund has it. They have it.
They have it, and I'm sure there must be a lot of jubilation in Accra at the watch party. And this is the right time for Niko Kovac to bring in some fresh legs. I can see Benzi Baini on the touchline getting ready to come on. And I see that Nicolas Zule is coming off. Oschan is also coming on. Felix Nmecha goes off. Julian Brandt also goes off. So we've got 3 players going off, and I'm going to give you confirmation of who they are replacing in a few minutes. Now we've got Ostad on the pitch, we've got Benzi Baini on the pitch. So here is confirmation of the substitutions as Wolfsburg goes forward and tries to equalize.
Can they pull an equalizer at this particular minute, Michael? They looked pretty much charged to win this particular game at home, Michael, but Garcia spoiled the party for them.
Absolutely. So here's confirmation. Rami Benzibaini comes on for Nicholas Zule, and Sally Oschan comes on for Phyllis Mecha. And we've got Kane Chukwuemeka, who is coming on for Julian Brandt.
Felix Mecha has also gave in a very spirited performance, Michael, today.
He's done fantastic. Very, very instrumental in the second goal that we've just seen.
Of course, he has put Garcia back in the game. Everybody was worried that his 50th showing for Dortmund would not be that colorful, but at least he caps off that 50th showing for this important side with his now 30th goal for the side.
But Wolfsburg now coming out very, very strongly in the last minutes of this game. They are trying to rescue what they can from this game. So far, we have played 90 minutes, and we'll get confirmation soon of how many more minutes at the time we have.
It's 4 minutes, actually, Michael. 4 minutes of added time. Is it enough for Wolfsburg?
Certainly enough. It is more than enough for them to score 2 quick goals, but they have to get on it.
2 quick goals, Michael predicts. I go for equalizer. It's still okay. Oh!
That was one hell of a strike by Maximilian Arnold, just as we were talking about that. Okay, so so there was a deflection, and again, Gregor Kobo thoroughly beaten, the ball scraping the crossbar on the top side, and it is now Christian Eriksen who steps up to take the corner kick. And we've got Grabara also joining in the 18-yard box, trying to get an equalizer here. What are they going to be able to make out of this? They are unable to make the equalizer, and Dortmund have the ball. There is no goalkeeper in the Wolfsburg arena. What can they make out of this? But the ball goes out of touch for a throw-in, and it is a Wolfsburg throw-in.
It's smoking, Michael. It's getting interesting.
They count the ball down now. Maximilian Arnold finds Belosien, who has been very, very good on that left-hand side so far this afternoon. The ball sent very, very far back, finds Christian Eriksen.
3 minutes remaining, Michael. And should that be a goal? Oh, my God.
That would
what
have been
a
an
missed
offside.
opportunity.
That would have been an offside because that would have been quite a goal. Can Dortmund maintain their lead and end this game with all 3 points?
They pretty much need the 3 points, Michael, because this brings them so close to the title chase. 46 points behind Bayern Munich, that is who have 51 points, Michael.
Wolfsburg sends a long searching ball on that right-hand side. We've got Svanberg on that right-hand side. They get a throw in. And it is Berger who steps up, but he hands over to Svanberg.
2 minutes remaining.
Another long searching ball Oh, and it is cleared very quickly by Joe Bellingham. And Seu Girassi challenging for the ball, but it is in the possession of Wolfsburg. Sally Ochan challenging for the ball, but Eriksson sends a long one in search of Berger. He finds him, and what can they make out of this? Nico Schlotterberg clears the ball away from danger, and Nico Schlotterberg, Dortmund doing all they can to ensure that they get all 3 points. Niko Kovac making a final minute substitution. We've got a new player coming on in the dying minutes of this game. Can Dortmund survive the onslaught by Wolfsburg? Oh, and it's a foul on Sally Ochan by Belusien. Dortmund can breathe now. They need some space to breathe.
They need to breathe indeed, Michael,
The
because this
pressure
is
has
so
been
suffocating.
too much.
The pressure is suffocating indeed.
The cameras are trained on Maximilian Bayer. Is he the one who's going to come off? So we've got a new player, Reggiani, coming on for what it seems like Maximilian Bayer. Maximilian Bayer has done a fantastic job, and Reggiani comes on for Maximilian Bayer. Luca Reggiani.
Oh, Job Bellingham, can he finish?
Oh, Joe Bellingham bundles the opportunity. He got a clear-cut chance in the 18-yard box, but he bundles it and the opportunity slips by. And the referee whistles. He whistles for the end of this game. It was a hard-fought victory for Borussia Dortmund. They were clearly the ones with more opportunity. But in the second half, Wolfsburg truly showed all of their energy in the second half and almost came close to the equalizer and possibly winning this. But unfortunately, it was that last goal in the 87th minute by Seu Girassi that sealed their fate.
Very crucial one. That was
very,
a crucial.
very crucial game. It sealed their fate, and unfortunately, they lost the game here at home to Dortmund.
And of course, you know what that means, Michael, is that they are down to the 15th position, that is Wolfsburg, with 20 points, just 1 point adrift to the relegation zone, Michael. That is a very uncomfortable position, which they must see how to come out of that. But what this victory does to Dortmund, it cuts the points that they are trailing behind Bayern Munich, which is now 5 points, which is manageable, if you ask me.
Yeah, it brings them really close to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich has got 51 points, and Dortmund now has 48 points. So the point gap is only 3. But Bayern Munich is playing in the late kickoff later today. And so actually tomorrow they are playing against Hoffenheim. And so Dortmund will be watching this game very, very closely. If Hoffenheim were to win, then they would also close the gap between themselves and Borussia Dortmund. But after their recent poor showing, Bayern Munich, that is, losing one game and drawing another, they wouldn't want to draw or lose this game at home. And so it's going to be a very tough one for Hoffenheim when they travel to the Allianz Arena tomorrow to face the Bavarian boys.
The serial winners of this Bundesliga. And of course, many fans are crying that someone should stop them. Will Borussia Dortmund be the ones to stop Bayern Munich? Of course, 21 games so far of this particular beautiful league. Almost halfway, Michael. It's halfway through. The Wolfsburg fans and the players understandably disappointed. The second half was very clear that they had turned the heads around, and then, of course, the pressure was mounting against Dortmund. But Garassi's goal, dying minute goal, has spoiled the party for them. And so is football.
And surprises around the league centers today. So many surprises. Bottom place, St. Pauli currently leading 2-1 against Stuttgart. That is quite a surprise. And you also have Heidenheim that have lost 2-0 at home to Hamburg. That's quite a very, very big surprise. And we've got Freiburg playing Werder Bremen. Freiburg is leading 1-0 to Werder Bremen. That game is still ongoing. They've played currently 90 minutes plus 7. And Mainz leading 2-0 against Augsburg. That game is also ongoing. And here at the Volkswagen Arena, we've got Wolfsburg at home losing 1-2 to Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund very, very happy about this scoreline because it helps them to come closer to the score, to the title. And later this evening, we've got Borussia Mönchengladbach facing Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen currently sit at 6th on the table with 35 points. And Borussia Mönchengladbach is sitting at number 20, I should say. They've got only 21 points, and they will be hoping to, try to close that gap. They are currently only slightly sitting above Wolfsburg, only one place above Wolfsburg, with only 2 point difference. And so, if they lose their game, then it's going to be quite unfortunate for Borussia Mönchengladbach. But Bayer Leverkusen would also want to finish in the top 4 because they need to have European football.
Definitely.
And so far, they would need to see off Borussia Mönchengladbach later this evening to ensure that they can climb up on the table. Currently, they are behind Leipzig, that is sitting on 5th, also behind Wolfsburg, Stuttgart, I should say, number 4, Hoffenheim 3, Borussia Dortmund 2, and Bayern Munich 1.
Pretty interesting, Michael. And of course, it was a watch party in Accra, Ghana, where Dortmund was launching a football academy.
Mm-hmm.
And they look so happy now, and because Dortmund has not disappointed.
Absolutely. And earlier, my colleague Isaac Kaleji spoke to Michael Rutten, head of coaching at the Dortmund Academy, and Florian Ingversen, who is the head of academy football. And he asked them what they expect of the academy that is being set up in Accra. So let's go back to Accra, where my colleague Isaac Kaleji takes over.
Bundesliga Radio, live.
Thank you so much, George and Michael. So here in Accra, there's a watch party taking place for the match again between Dortmund and Wolfsburg, and an interesting match coming up. Dortmund wants to really close up the gap between them and Bayern Munich. We'll see whether that will happen in the coming weeks. But today it starts with this game. And I'm here in Accra where the watch party will be taking place. And just want to talk to some people from Dortmund who are here for a special project. We'll talk about it later. But now to talk about what they expect of the game today. Please tell me your name and what you are at Dortmund.
Yeah, I'm Michael. I'm the head of coaching at the Football Academy.
That's interesting, and I'm sure that means your eyes on the senior team. What do you make of Dortmund's performance this season?
Oh, I think it's quite a solid performance. We have finally good, constant results in the league, which gives us a chance to, challenge and chase Bayern Munich this year.
Okay, and this match today is very important, I guess.
The constellation is important because now we are playing the teams from the bottom of the table. So it's important to gather all the points we can to put pressure on the first place. Yeah.
And do you expect that Dortmund will do the business or deliver this afternoon?
Absolutely, sure.
But basically, how do you feel about the support in Ghana for Dortmund and also for Bundesliga?
Oh yeah, so far there were a lot of people approaching me when I was wearing this shirt and the badge on. So I think it's quite a well-known club, and we're happy to have all the fans all around, and really looking forward to see the watch party later and see the passion of the Ghanaian fans.
And I'm sure that Ghanaians will be hoping that one day we will see another Ghanaian in Dortmund playing for for Dortmund and also for Ghana. We know that of the previous Ghanaian legends like Tanko and all that. I hope that's also the expectation from Dortmund now that you have this kind of initiative in Accra.
Yes, of course. We see such a big potential here. So many, brilliant kids, young players who can develop to be potential Bundesliga player, potential BVB players, of course.
Thank you so much. Please, your name and what you do at Dortmund.
My name is Florian Ingwersen. I'm the head of football academy at Borussia Dortmund.
Okay. Now, how has this year been for Dortmund generally? They've been up there, but what will you say about the performance of Dortmund this season?
We are very happy with the points we got from all the matches we have played. And now where the season goes closer to the end, we are very much focusing on catching up to Bayern Munich. So this will be very important for us in the next games.
And today's game is against Wolfsburg. What do you see the chances like for Dortmund?
So we are playing away. This is also always a bit, we're going to see, but definitely we want to win. It's a very important game for us and we want to win it.
And of course, do you believe that indeed Dortmund can still catch up with Bayern Munich? We see the point difference quite a bit significant, but do you think you can really make it up?
6 points, I think this is definitely possible. We just need to keep winning our games.
And quickly, just let's talk about the Ghanaian, you are here in Ghana to actually do something very important. Just a minute. You're here in Ghana and obviously you are expecting to do something interesting here. Just tell me about how you see the Bundesliga support base here in Ghana. You've interacted with people, you've seen the interest of people.
I think the passion for football is incredible and also the passion for our club is very big, and this is something what makes us very proud to see so many people, so many fans in black and yellow.
And just the watch party is happening. Are you expecting that more people will come and watch the match live as you wrap up this particular project you are doing here in Accra?
Yeah, we are doing the watch party at 2:30 and everyone is welcome and we are looking forward to see you there.
Okay. Thank you so much, and over to you, Michael and George.
Bundesliga Radio live.
Thank you very much, Isaac Kaleji, who is with the chaps in Accra, Dortmund Academy, setting up a football academy in Accra, Ghana, trying to recruit talent from the continental powerhouse, Ghana. And here at the Volkswagen Arena, we've just witnessed the end of the game between Wolfsburg and Borussia Dortmund. And Wolfsburg losing that game 2-1. The final nail in the coffin coming in the 87th minute through a Sekou Girassi strike.
That
George,
was very,
what do you think was the undoing of Wolfsburg?
I mean, Michael, at the first half, we clearly saw that they were dominated by Dortmund, and we saw them trying to press and clear the opportunities that Dortmund was trying to create at the attacking front. But that was not enough. I mean, they needed more attacking and also, opening up in the wings and creating more chances. But this is not to say that they didn't have brilliant opportunities. And we've seen their key striker, Mohamed Amoura, missing almost 3 chances.
Absolutely. I mean, there were a couple of clear-cut opportunities that he should have taken, but he missed those chances. And we spoke earlier in the game. We hope that it wouldn't come back to haunt him. And it looks like, in the end, those chances could have been better utilized. But in being fair to him, when you're on the pitch, you have to make split-second decisions. And sometimes as a commentator, you have the opportunity of replay to really look at those decisions, right? And you can criticize. But on the field of play, he made the best decision available to him. Unfortunately, that meant that the team lost this particular game 2-1. And so they have slipped further on the table. And they are currently sitting at 15th
position. And that is uncomfortable, Michael. And remember, that is just 1 point ahead of the danger relegation zone. I mean, they are 19 points, the same as Werder Bremen, and then 17 adrift, like 2 points just above St. Pauli. And this is somewhere that no coach wants to find himself.
Absolutely, because when you're here, it's one slip up and they're going to be relegated, and don't want to be in that kind of position. So I can understand that it's a very, very difficult position to be in for, Wolfsburg, a team of their stature. But the games across the different match locations have ended. So quickly run you through the outcome. So yesterday we had the game between Union Berlin and Eintracht Frankfurt, which ended 1-1.
Yes.
And then we've got Freiburg versus Werder Bremen, again continuing their losing ways. Werder Bremen, that is, they lost against Freiburg winning 1-0. And then in Mainz, we've got Mainz winning 2-0 against Augsburg. And then in Wolfsburg, which is the game we brought to you, they lost against Borussia Dortmund 1-2. And then St. Pauli surprised, they're winning against Stuttgart 2-1. Heidenheim losing against Hamburg 0-0. And then later this evening, we've got Borussia Mönchengladbach playing against Bayer Leverkusen.
Indeed. And tomorrow, of course, Cologne playing Leipzig. And the league leaders, Bayern Munich, and the third position, Hoffenheim, facing off later in the evening.
So the top 4 teams, the positions haven't changed. The good news is that now Borussia Dortmund is closer to Bayern Munich. The point difference is now only 3, but Bayern is playing tomorrow, so they have a chance to widen that gap more. And so, so far the games have been really, really wonderful across the different match zones, and it's been such amazing football that we've seen here in the Bundesliga, George.
Yeah, definitely amazing Bundesliga matches, and such competition is what is required, and intriguing and interesting the fans around who are following this particular important European league. And the discomfort is another Bundesliga victory being taken by Bayern Munich, and that's why everybody is rallying their support behind Dortmund. I hope they're not comfortable at the second position. But of course, from us, my name is George Okachi. Thank you. Many thanks for listening and following this particular live commentary.
And my name is Michael Lutu. Remember, we bring you the games every Saturday at the same time on our YouTube channel, as well as our partner stations. Thank you very much for listening, and catch you same time next week.
DW, made for minds.